ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Wednesday, January 21st. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. We are ready to go. Our text line is open at 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. Coming up in the next few minutes, we're going to hear from Ryan Crisp. We'll get you updated on everything that is happening when it comes to all of these changes. If you were with us yesterday, we found out that the Saturday game was going to be a noon tip and the game tomorrow would be a 5 o'clock tip. Well, that's changed since. The Saturday game still at this moment is going to be a noon tip. The game tomorrow has also become a noon tip. So we will, of course, keep an eye on everything if there's any other changes that you need to know about. So we're going to talk to Ryan Crisp in just a few moments. He is the Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. Of course, we're going to hear from you as well, as I have got tickets to go see the game on Saturday. So if you can go to the game, weather permitting, obviously, if we don't get the snowstorm that we thought we might get, or if everything works out and you want to go to the game on Saturday, all you have to do is be a part of today's show, and that's on our text line at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I hate today because the weather is becoming the story more so than the game, as the Herd is going to be in action against ULM. That's a big matchup, I think, for the Thundering Herd, because Marshall's got to win that. It doesn't matter that ULM is winless in conference. It's Marshall's got to win that. You cannot lose this. This is an important game because it's the next game. I'm going to use Coach Jackson's thought process here. It's the next game. It's the most important game. But you can't lose to this team. It's a must win. That's a no-no. This team is, as far as its net's concerned, where it's at in the standings, you cannot lose to this team. And I know I might be adding a little undue artificial pressure here on this team, but still, you can't lose to this game. That would be you cannot lose to this team because it would be so deflating. So that's where we're at right now with ULM. And, of course, Saturday is going to be a tough one as well, South Alabama. And, again, that's going to tip off at noon. The swim meet against Toledo is going to be Saturday at 9:30 a.m. I don't think that has changed. So we'll find out where the Thundering Herd stands when it comes to the weather and the schedule all throughout the rest of the week. But we do know tomorrow's game is going to be a noon tip. Hopefully you can go. If not, we're going to have you covered. It's going to be right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, and also on 93.7 The Dog. So make sure everybody knows if you can't go, we got you covered. You can listen to the game throughout the day. And then I'm going to be over there at 11 a.m. So 11 a.m. for me, we'll do the pregame show. And then at 12, we'll have the game. After the game, we'll go back and hear from Coach Jackson, kind of get his thoughts on everything that happened. And then I'm going to do the post-game from Henderson Center. And then probably I'm going to head back here to the radio station and try to get ready for the drive, which will be a little bit more of a follow-up. So post-game might be short just so we have enough time to come back and do the show here at 5 o'clock, whatever the case may be. We're going to have you covered, so keep everything locked on your radio. Or you do one better. You can get the app. Head over to our website right now, WRVC.com, or when you can, head over there and you can download the app. You can stream the radio station. The podcast is available on the app as well. On the website, you can stream the radio station. You can listen to our podcast. You can listen to all of our podcast offerings, including the latest episode of What's Next from our Vice President, Reeves Kurtner. This week, it's about the Keith Albee and the process of renewing and restoring what is a jewel of the tri-state. So all of that is available on our website. So all you have to do is just head over there and you can download the app, or you can just listen to it on the website. Either way, we've got you covered for tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to all of it. So I promise we get Ryan Crisp on here in the next few minutes because he's got a lot of logistic work to take care of. The game is tomorrow at noon. So that means everybody's going to be over at the Henderson Center bright and early getting ready for this one. And that includes us. So Ryan Crisp is going to join us on the other side of our break. And then we will get your text 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255 on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Save big money on your kitchen projects at Menards. We carry everything you need to turn your kitchen dreams into reality. Renovate your space with new cabinets from Cardell. They're ready to install and come in a variety of styles and finishes with free shipping to your home. Visit our kitchen showrooms in-store or go to Menards.com for free estimates today. Plus, get 15% off everything you can fit in the bag. See store for complete details.
Save big money at Menards.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. And in Wayne, Vicky Tabor, 304-272-5149.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
I'm Naheem Hines, professional football player and proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14, and I watched her struggle. But MDA helped her get the best treatments and care, and they also help kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. From day one, they've treated me like family at my local care center. MDA is the only one that funds over 150 care centers across the U.S. to help provide state-of-the-art care for adults and kids like me.
MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and other related neuromuscular diseases. They fund the research for breakthrough treatments, care, and cures. And MDA provides support to thousands of families like mine and Ethan's in communities like yours. Thanks to MDA, kids and adults can live life to its fullest. Join us and learn more at mda.org today.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thank you, Dave. You can catch Dave tomorrow, 10:06, right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And then apologies to Dave, because then we're going to preempt him at 11 o'clock as we get set for Marshall and ULM. So apologies to Dave Wilson. He'll be back in his full 2 hours after tomorrow. But we'll have his first hour, and then I'll be with you at 11 a.m., and I'll be at the Henderson Center, where Ryan Crisp will be at as well. Marshall's changing times because of the upcoming winter storm. Ryan's with us now on the program. I don't know how it's going for you, man, but I feel sorry for you because you're the first guy everybody messages when things change. So I know you've had to been super busy these last few hours, last night and today.
Yeah, that's part of the job, right? And fans are always welcome to reach out to me, and I'll take care of them however I can. The last really 24 hours has been a whirlwind as Marshall and the Sun Belt Conference and all of its teams try to navigate, what's coming our way. So obviously, changing our game tomorrow to noon was not Marshall's preference. It was not our choice. It was not our suggestion by any means. But as the Sun Belt Conference approached us and laid it out on a sheet of paper, it was really, the only option we really had to get the game in. Obviously, moving tomorrow's game is not about the weather that's coming this weekend necessarily for just the Thursday. It's just a chain of events, of reactions that happen after that. And so ULM is playing here at noon on Thursday. Then they're hopping on a bus right after our game and getting to Boone, and they're going to play App State in Boone on Friday at noon as well. So back-to-back noon games, back-to-back days for them. And then they have to drive to Charlotte and hop on a commercial flight to get back home before the storm hits their area. According to their local meteorologist, they're going to get hit with a pretty good amount of ice. And the local airport they fly into for their games, so there's a good possibility we will not be accepting flights on Saturday at all. So they have to get back Friday. So that's what we had to do with the Sun Belt Conference. And once again, it wasn't our choice, wasn't our recommendation, but it's one of those things that, had to happen. And so obviously, not ideal for a lot of fans that have a 8-to-5 job or 9-to-5 job or whatever it may be, or even just other plans throughout the day. And so, if you're not able to come and you already have tickets to the game, please reach out to us. We are happy to refund or exchange those tickets for a future game. And if you're a season ticket holder, unfortunately, there's no way to really refund you for just a single game. But if you need extra tickets to a future home game, we'd be happy to accommodate that to try to help as much as possible because we understand the frustration and we get it. It's just one of those things that, a little bit out of our control, and obviously what the weather is going to do is what the weather is going to do. And so we have to adapt and adjust and be flexible and do what we can to still provide a great experience for our student athletes while also being mindful of the safety of everyone, not only us, but also visiting teams and their future games. I think that's the biggest thing that, people are calling or texting or whatever it may be, posting on social media about how it makes no sense to move the Thursday game for weather that's not going to hit until Saturday. And we really don't know what time it's coming Saturday. And that's all true, but that's not done directly because of that, right? It's because of the secondary games in the weekend that are later on that's moving up the schedule for everyone across the Sun Belt. Everyone's had to adjust. Everyone's making changes. Lots of other conferences are making changes with their games now. I see 4 or 5 come out in the last hour or so. So it's happening across the country, and we'll adapt and do everything we can to take care of our fans.
My first question before we get into some of the details of the logistics is there a mechanism in place? Say I'm a season ticket holder and I can't use my tickets, but if someone else can, how do I maybe get those to somebody else? How can Marshall handle that? What are some of the mechanisms that you have available? Because I know you can't just sit there and take phone calls all day long. What are some of the options that maybe fans need to maybe take advantage of to maybe best serve you and them when it comes to this ticket situation?
Yeah, I think if somebody's looking to do that, I think there's a couple different options. One, you can still call us. You can email us at herdtickets@marshall.edu or email myself. What we do with those is we do get donation requests all the time, whether that's for, different fundraisers or if it's for local youth teams or whatever it may be. There's ticket requests all the time. So we'll utilize those tickets for that kind of situation. The other thing you can do as a fan is, even just posting on social media, hey, I'm not able to go to the game today. Would anyone like my tickets? I see that quite a bit. And most of the time it seems like those tickets get claimed by somebody. And what that does for us is maybe that gets somebody to the game that normally doesn't come to the game or has never been to a game or whatever it may be. And then they get to experience our games and they have a great time. And that will turn into, a sale for us down the road. So that's important as well. One quick story, the last game was obviously incredible, right? And the game time changes for this weekend are disappointing because I felt we had so much momentum from the Saturday game. There was a JMU fan that actually emailed us, the athletic department, talked about how much fun and what a great experience it was to come to the Henderson Center. And sometimes I think you forget about that, right? When maybe you're a season ticket holder that comes to every game or you've been coming to games for 40 years within the Henderson Center, you kind of forget those kind of moments and everything and how different and special it is here. So one of those things that if you're able to help somebody out or give them to a neighbor or a friend or someone that maybe doesn't come to a lot or hasn't been to a game, it's a great way to expose them to what we're doing at Marshall.
Logistic-wise, other than the Sun Belt trying to adjust all the schedules, and you're basically at the mercy of the Sun Belt, is there anything in place? How does the Sun Belt help you? Because you say, okay, we're going to do this at noon, and that, of course, means that you change a lot of logistics. That's not how it originally was set up. So, is there anything that the Sun Belt can do to help? Is there any mechanisms in place, or is it basically, okay, you've been given the time, and then you go make the best of the situation?
Yeah, I think that they're trying to help us as much as possible. Just from a financial situation, I don't think there's much flexibility there. We'll kind of give them some feedback on what we expect the financial impact to be from our standpoint. But at the end of the day, the Sun Belt's priority is obviously getting these games in and keeping everyone safe. And so that's what they're going to prioritize to make sure that the games can be played. Even this weekend, it's a little different, right? Because it's West opponents. And so we have two schools that normally don't come here, that it would be really expensive for them to come back here again if we were able to move the game or, whatever it may be, whatever that looks like. And that's just not something that's a reality, right, for a West school to get back here. And so there's really not much, future adjustment we can do. Obviously, the schedule's set, and every game's important in terms of seeding. So they're going to do what we have to do to get the games in. Obviously, our student athletes want to play the game. They obviously want to play it in front of a packed house at 7 o'clock. Or at 4 o'clock on a Saturday or whatever it may be. But, at the end of the day, whatever they can do to showcase their skills and play in that game and, compete at the highest level is what the priority is going to be for the Sun Belt, for the student athletes, for us as well at the end of the day.
What else has been impacted by the schedule change? I know that the event taking place for a swim is changed as well. Overall, what's maybe different, what's changed? I know the game time on Saturday for the men as well has been moved to noon.
Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. For Saturday's game at noon?
I know Saturday's game's at noon. I know swim's event has been moved to 9:30 a.m. I was asking if you didn't hear it, what has been changed, what's been rearranged that maybe fans need to know about, outside of what's happening on Saturday? Brian, are you able to hear us? Brian Crisp, everyone. We're trying to get him reestablished on the program. Unfortunately, it sounds like we have lost Ryan's connection. So I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and take our break early. I'll see if we can get him back. If not, we'll carry on with today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Imagine the perfect chicken tender. Crispy, juicy, for lack of a better word, tendery. Now imagine these perfect tenders at Wendy's. 'Cause they are. Wendy's new chicken tenders are here with delicious new dipping sauces like Wendy's Signature, Creamy Ranch, and Honey Barbecue. And they're so good, we even changed our name from Wendy's to Tendies. I believe that's what the kids call manifesting. For Tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
Catch all the action of Ashland Tomcats basketball all season long on your radio home for the Tomcats 97.9 The River. The River has you covered for each and every Tomcats basketball game, both home and away, as the Tomcats look to bring home another championship. Download the app today or listen online at 979theriver.com. Ashland Tomcats basketball on 97.9 The River is sponsored by Kentucky Farmers Bank, McLeod's Body Shop, and Community Trust Bank. Ashland Tomcats basketball from Kindred Communications.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Wednesday edition of The Drive. We have reestablished communication with Ryan Crisp. Ryan is the Associate Athletics Director of Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. And Ryan, to kind of continue where we were at, I was asking about what else had been impacted by the change in schedule. I know swimming's event has been changed. The men's game on Saturday has been changed. Is that the full extent of what's been altered, or is there anything else that's been impacted we should know about?
Yeah, from a home event standpoint, that is the impact, right? Tomorrow's game at noon. The swim meet on Saturday has been pushed up to 9:30, and then the basketball at noon on Saturday as well. Our women's basketball team on the road, they've had both of their games adjusted to try to get them back into town before the storm hits. And so both of those games have been adjusted. Our track team is no longer going to meet. They were scheduled to go in Bellarmine and Louisville, Kentucky there. They're no longer attending that. So definitely some changes and all that kind of stuff. And then just all the other day-to-day stuff we do, right? When there's this kind of weather that's approaching and, our baseball and softball teams try to get outside as much as possible. But obviously with this kind of thing, they have to adjust their practice schedules and not be on top of each other if they want to go in the indoor facility and all that good stuff. So lots of logistical changes as the athletic department as a whole. But from a home event standpoint, the main thing is the men's basketball and the swim meet moving up to 9:30 on Saturday morning.
And the university, of course, isn't impacted yet because the weather hasn't hit, so everything still is operating as normal. Will there be obviously changing in parking, anything like that that's going to maybe change just a little bit, or fans can just expect the same experience just a little bit earlier in the day?
Yeah, no, as of right now, no changes. I will say for tomorrow's game, anyone will be able to park in the parking garage right across from the arena. We will not have a parking attendant there, just to hopefully, if anyone is able to come to the game, make it a little easier and more convenient for them. Also, with it being a normal school day and in the middle of classes, the west lot will be pretty full with, kids that are in class and all that good stuff that'll be parked there, which normally, obviously during our games, maybe some night classes on a weekday game, but not a whole lot. But with it being at noon on a Thursday, there will be a decent amount of classes in session. So, just patience. And the other thing I'll caution is obviously just, safe driving around the arena because of the extra foot traffic that will be there. And so other than that, though, normal as scheduled for right now. And as things change and adapt, we'll adjust accordingly.
Any specials, promotions, anything that you want to talk about for Thursday? I mean, we're going to have dollar bags of popcorn, courtesy of Ryan Crisp. What we got?
Well, we did do, once again, just to try to help as much as possible with people that can't attend the game, and we appreciate them attending the game. We did do a flash sale that we released on social media and email, $10 tickets for tomorrow's game anywhere in the arena. So if you are able to attend, if you're able to get off work, or maybe you're retired or whatever it may be, you can hop onto Herd Zone, use promo code 10, TEN 10, and you can get some $10 tickets for tomorrow's game.
Does that include the suite? Can I get a $10 ticket to the suite?
Unfortunately, that one's excluded there.
All right, fair enough. So there will be ticket discounts, obviously. This is a unique situation. Saturday should run more like a normal game, just earlier as well. So, other than the time change, that should feel like it's more of a normal situation.
Yeah, for sure. No change there. Everything's going to be good to go and full throttle for that one.
Was your promotion schedule altered any bit for this game Thursday and maybe Saturday because of the time changes?
Yeah, a little bit. Some things that, we can adjust and put in other games. Tomorrow was the Battle of the Residence Hall, and we're still doing that one tomorrow, partnering with Housing and Resident Life on campus. And with the game time change with students, they don't see much of an impact difference. So hopeful that our residence halls will still come out. And then Saturday, we had planned for the student-athlete honor roll recognition at halftime. We are moving that to the February 4th game. Multiple reasons for that. obviously with the swim meet being that morning, they would be excluded from that. Baseball and softball with their practice times would be excluded from that time, from the noon game. And so we wanted to, move that presentation just to allow the most number of student athletes to participate as possible. So that's going to move to the February 4th contest. But other than that, everything you see from an in-game standpoint will look very similar to what we do, for all of our other games.
If anyone wants to attend the swim meet, anything that they need to know different or basically same as usual, just show up early as well.
Yeah, show up early, 9:30 start, and so you're able to come. You'll be able to transition right into basketball on Saturday. So if you want to arrive a little early, then check out swimming for a little bit, and then hop on over the concourse hallway right into the Henderson Center.
Ryan Crisp is with us, a very busy Ryan Crisp, the Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. So is your department staying open late, opening up early tomorrow? What are the hours so people maybe have last-minute questions?
Yeah, from a ticket standpoint, we kept our standard hours, so they're open from 9 to 4 with the phones being manned. From the other side of my job in the marketing staff, we're pretty much always working. And so we got things in the works. They're going through at the arena right now, the run through tomorrow and the adjustments we made and getting the script and the video board and all that stuff ready to go. So, from a public standpoint, though, ticket office will be, they closed at 4 today, just like normal. They'll open up at 9 tomorrow morning, and then about 10:30 transition over to the Henderson Center, and then they'll open back up after the game for any questions about Saturday's game. So, kind of normal operations. We'll shut down a little bit for the game tomorrow as expected, and then back open after.
Ryan Crisp is with us, Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. Again, it's a noon tip-off on Thursday and then again on Saturday. Any questions, you can contact Ryan or the ticket office. Ryan, we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and let's hope that we get a great crowd no matter what the weather situation may be or the overall situation. We get a good crowd and watch the Herd get the victory.
That's right. Appreciate the time, Paul. Go Herd.
Appreciate it. That's Ryan Crisp, everyone. Again, he's the Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. He's pretty much the guy that you call front and center when you have questions concerning things of this nature. We will take your text, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Imagine the perfect chicken tender. Crispy, juicy, for lack of a better word, tendery. Now imagine these perfect tenders at Wendy's. 'Cause they are. Wendy's new chicken tenders are here with delicious new dipping sauces like Wendy's Signature, Creamy Ranch, and Honey Barbecue. And they're so good, we even changed our name from Wendy's to Tendies. I believe that's what the kids call manifesting. For Tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
Catch all the action of Ashland Tomcats basketball all season long on your radio home for the Tomcats 97.9 The River. The River has you covered for each and every Tomcats basketball game, both home and away, as the Tomcats look to bring home another championship. Download the app today or listen online at 979theriver.com. Ashland Tomcats basketball on 97.9 The River is sponsored by Kentucky Farmers Bank, McLeod's Body Shop, and Community Trust Bank. Ashland Tomcats basketball from Kindred Communications.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
I'm Naheem Hines, professional football player and proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14, and I watched her struggle. But MDA helped her get the best treatments and care, and they also help kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. From day one, they've treated me like family at my local care center. AMDA is the only one that funds over 150 care centers across the U.S. to help provide state-of-the-art care for adults and kids like me.
MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and other related neuromuscular diseases. They fund the research for breakthrough treatments, care, and cures. And MDA provides support to thousands of families like mine and Ethan's in communities like yours. Thanks to MDA, kids and adults can live life to its fullest. Join us and learn more at mda.org today.
As a prospective college student, one way you can save money on higher education is to earn college credit while you're still in high school. You can save hundreds, even thousands of dollars by taking dual credit courses, which let you earn high school credit and college credit at the same time. Want to learn more about dual credit courses? Visit the website of the Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority at kheaa.com. That's kheaa.com.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
We continue on with this Wednesday edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line is back open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. The Thundering Herd now playing at noon, taking on UL Monroe. And we'll have that game for you for those of you that can't make it. We go on the air at 11 a.m. Then we will tip things off a little bit after 12. And that's all right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So different situation here. And if you were just with us, you heard the details. If not, Ryan Crisp outlining everything. This was a decision ultimately from the Sun Belt Conference to accommodate all of the travel considerations due to the pending weather storm that would be hitting. The winter storm advisories have gone out. And so ULM has to play the Marshall game tomorrow and then head on down to Boone on a bus and then head over to get its flight so it can make its way back home. Of course, this isn't necessarily the ideal situation for anyone, especially the fans. Ryan Crisp definitely will help you make yourself whole or at least try to accommodate you the best he can. If you need tickets, you're a season ticket holder, there are options for you. If you have tickets and you can't use them, again, reach out to Ryan Crisp and his staff. They'll take care of you on that. And that's something I think is really cool, that you have someone like Ryan that will take the time to talk to you and work out something that makes sense for everybody. Okay, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We are giving you a chance to win tickets to the Saturday game, as our Thursday tickets have pretty much been spoken for, unfortunately. I feel like we're in a situation where schedules are going to change so much. I don't know how many of you are able to head to the game on Saturday. with the time change, but if you are, let me know in the text as well, and so we'll make sure that you have a shot at winning those. And again, that number is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Kind of breaking this one down for the Thundering Herd versus ULM. Marshall is definitely scoring more than Monroe, 78.2 to 71.6. Marshall is winning by a little bit more than a bucket right now. And UL Monroe is losing by 13 points a game. Marshall is definitely the better team creating offense at 16 plus assists a game. Rebounding, that stat belongs to Marshall as well at over 38. Monroe is at 31.4. Marshall is giving up 76.9 a contest. Monroe is giving up 87.4. So the Thundering Herd's also a better defensive team, averaging over 5 blocks a game, only 3.4 for UL Monroe. Steals, it's about even actually. 6.1 for Marshall compared to 6 for UL Monroe. So that's right at even. And here's the interesting stat. And again, hopefully this doesn't come into play tomorrow. Marshall, personal fouls per game. Marshall is averaging 21 fouls a game. Monroe, 13.9. This team does not foul very much. And so free points are not coming to the Herd if that holds. If Marshall fouls a lot tomorrow, we'll see Monroe get more opportunities. So that's something that really interests me as well, as how this game is going to break down. And again, we've got it for you right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 and on 93.7 The Dog if you can't go. All right, let's enter into the text line, see what we got here. Texas says, wants to know, Paul, for football players who have entered the transfer portal but have not landed a spot elsewhere, can they return to Marshall or are they just out? That's an interesting question because there are several players that are out right now because they don't have a landing spot. But if a player goes in the transfer portal, doesn't find a spot, and wants to come back to Marshall, I'm thinking that's Marshall's discretion because once they enter the transfer portal, they've declared we're transferring. We are a transfer. We're open. Anyone can contact us in the transfer portal to see if we're interested. So I would think that Marshall is going to have to say, yes, we would happily have you back. I know Coach Huff would allow that, I think. Hey, look, kid wanted to go see if he can play at a Power 4 or an SEC school, and so he's going to take that opportunity there. Or found out maybe wasn't right. Depends, really. So I think that if there's a player that wants to come back to Marshall and Coach Gibson wants him back, I think that they would be able to come back. But I don't think they can just go, well, oh, my bad. Oh, sorry. I was just joking about this transfer portal thing. I'm staying with Marshall. No, I think you have to declare those intentions, or you declare that intention by actually just staying and not putting yourself in the transfer portal. Here's one. Texter says, Paul, the Herd will win by 4 or less tomorrow. ULM is a desperate team that will come out swinging. Appreciate that thought. Absolutely. I've agreed with that sentiment a few days now because this is a team that has nothing to lose. And some wins would help. But at the end of the day, this team is probably going to be playing on the first day in the conference tournament. But some wins all of a sudden start making you feel a little bit better about where you're at right now. And if you lose to Marshall, okay, you're supposed to lose. You're expected to lose. So what do you have to lose? That's a great thought. I appreciate it with that as well. Texter wants to know, Paul, the Sun Belt Conference basketball looks very competitive, men's and women's. Do they have any signature wins? Are you talking about Marshall or the league itself? That's probably the big question there. Sun Belt Conference basketball, signature wins. You can look probably at the schedule. go through every team and kind of figure this out, that maybe there's a win here or there. But I don't know if there's anything that really stands out as, oh, wow, that has really put the conference on the map here. I don't think that I've seen anything that stands out as far as what this league looks like. Now, if you look at the net, and that's a big indicator, the net right now shows the number one team being Michigan. So we go all the way down to the Sun Belt to see what the Sun Belt looks like. So Troy is 106 in the net. Marshall is 150. And so those are the top two teams in the net. If you look at the record, you got to look at quad one wins. That's probably going to be your biggest indicator of how well the league is doing. And so quad one wins, what does that look like? Well, Marshall doesn't have a quad one win. Troy's 1-1 in quadrant one. Marshall's 0-1 in quad one. And that's it. I don't see any other quad one wins. For Marshall, 0-2 in quad two, 5-2 in quad three, and 6-2 in quad four. So you look at Troy's schedule, and Troy's definitely one of those teams that could make a run in the tournament. Very good so far. Troy, what's the signature win there? They beat Kent State. They beat Furman. They beat LMU, Cal State Northridge. They lost to Cal State Northridge. They lost by 1 to USC. They won against St. Francis there. They got a win over UAB. Got the Marshall win, obviously. So that's one that really stands out early on, or did anyway, in the conference. But they lost to Toledo. Toledo is a pretty good team at the time. St. Francis is a win. So it's interesting to kind of see San Diego State, 108, 107. That's not a bad win as well. I think it's just traditionally a team that is 13-6 and has been pretty good, is going to be a little high in the net right now. But I don't see anything that makes me go, hey, this is more than a one-bid league. This team is definitely automatic if it doesn't win the tournament. I don't see anything signature-wise right now. I do need to look it up, though, and investigate further. With that said, we'll throw that out to you. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I've got homework to do, so now you do as well. More coming up on today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Earn more with 4 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 4%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by one of the 8 Poca Valley Bank locations today. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
Cold weather's on its way, and what do you want on those cold, chilly evenings? A warm blanket and a hot cup of cocoa. Well, you know who else wants the same comfort? Mice. Messy, uninvited guests. They sneak in and leave droppings, chew through your food and packages. Don't let mice take over your home this fall and winter. Call K&B Pest Control. We will kill for your business. Call today, 304-523-4281.
Let the Car Ferry bring a little magic to your driveway at Mark Porter Auto Group. With locations in Pomeroy, Jackson, Ohio, and Ashland, Kentucky. Want to shop 24 hours a day? Cozy up with a cup of cider and browse our full inventory anytime at markporterautogroup.com. Fall into a safe, reliable vehicle and let the Car Ferry guide you to Mark Porter Auto Group in Pomeroy, Jackson, and Ashland. Or shop 24/7 at markporterautogroup.com.
Giovanni's Pizza. Fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
I'm Naheem Hines, professional football player and proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14, and I watched her struggle. But MDA helped her get the best treatments and care, and they also help kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. From day one, they've treated me like family at my local care center. MDA is the only one that funds over 150 care centers across the U.S. to help provide state-of-the-art care for adults and kids like me.
MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and other related neuromuscular diseases. They fund the research for breakthrough treatments, care, and cures. And MDA provides support to thousands of families like mine and Ethan's in communities like yours. Thanks to MDA, kids and adults can live life to its fullest. Join us and learn more at mda.org today.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We continue on. This is your Wednesday edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann, with our text line open at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. All right, I did some research trying to find the signature wins in the Sun Belt, and as I first thought, just at glance, the closest thing that we can call a signature win, it's a quad one victory, and it was against San Diego State. So Troy defeated San Diego State. That counted as a quad one win. It was an away game against an opponent ranked within the top 75 of the net rankings at the time. So it counts as a quadrant one win. Troy did have another opportunity for a major win. That was mentioned USC. That was a couple of days later, but lost that game. It was actually a triple overtime loss. So Troy's pretty good. I'm just going to go out and say that right now. Troy's pretty good. I would say my favorite right now, if I'm just pulling myself out of any emotion, I think Troy might be my favorite to be the tournament champion. But no signature wins at this moment in conference across the board. I think the MAC Sunbelt Challenge, of course, is going to maybe help in some regard with the net. And again, that's the whole reason for that, is because you're trying to play late. You're trying to pair some of your higher net teams with other higher net teams in different leagues. And you look at what the net looks like at the moment in the Mid-American Conference, and you have Miami. They're okay. They're not terrible. Miami 17-0, 49 in the net, but no quad one games. 3-0 in quad two, 2-0 in quad three, and then 12-0 and quadrant four. So it's beating the teams it should, and it's got some wins against some higher quad teams, but it hasn't faced off against a quadrant one team yet. And Akron is 55th in the net. So the MAC's doing all right. Miami and Akron, those are your top teams in the net right now. Of course, the Sun Belt, the best the Sun Belt can offer as far as the net is concerned is obviously Marshall as one of those teams at 150, and then Troy is 106. Marshall and Troy. Arkansas State's right there as well, 152. And then South Alabama, which I think is going to be a contest. They're at 200. In comparison, Marshall's opponent tomorrow, ULM, is 358. Here's how this breaks down. In Quad 1, 0-1. Quad 2, 0-4. Quad 3, 0-1. Quad 4, 1-10. Not very good. So Marshall has got to be on its guard tomorrow against this team. A loss here, while not devastating in the grand scheme of things when it comes to still trying to win the conference championship, and the regular season conference championship is great. You want to win that. But the one that gets you to the tournament is the tournament championship. Conference championship is just, hey, we're the regular season champs, but we still got to go play the tournament, and then the tournament will decide the automatic qualifier into the NCAA tournament. So Marshall's got to be careful here. A team like ULM, 358. And again, the net's just a snapshot. I mean, at least Coach Jackson hasn't come out and say, this is the best 0-9 team in the Sun Belt. I mean, I think he realizes behind the scenes, look, you're going to have to show up tomorrow and play this team with everything you have the way you played against JMU, because if you slip up here, it's not going to be 100% fatal, but it's going to be a setback. And so I know I might be adding some artificial pressure here, but ULM doesn't have any pressure. It's coming in tomorrow. No pressure whatsoever in this game. Show up, get off the bus, play the game, and then get back on the bus, head down to Boone, North Carolina to play App State, and then get out of Boone, head to the airport, and get back home before the winter storm hits, is basically the game plan for them. Marshall, on the other hand, thankfully, we've got the game on a normal schedule on Saturday. Well, at least as close to normal as possible with a noon tip. 11 is going to be our airtime tomorrow and on Saturday with our pregame coverage right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So glad everyone's with us. Of course, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. Of course, Marshall adding Gardner-Webb. That's the replacement for Eastern Michigan. The 4-game series with the Toledo Rockets. That is going to begin in 2030, so that's going to be a interesting series. We got a few years before we get to it, but Marshall and Toledo, that should be fun. Thundering Herd obviously has some history with the Rockets, but for, I'm sure, a good portion of you, you have not seen Marshall and Toledo on the football field, so I think we might have some splaining to do once we get to that point. I should be here in 2030. I should be here for that. Lord willing, I will be here in 2030 so we can talk about that game. With your prayers and thoughts, I will be here 2030. We can talk about that game. All right, that's going to do it for this edition. Again, I appreciate everyone who has been able to be a part of the show. We're going to go ahead and send out some ticket congratulations, and we will see you tomorrow. 11 a.m., Cam Henderson Center. If you can't make it, tune in right here, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, or on 93.7 The Dog.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.